airport, will have a grand reception. They will then go to Sabarmati Ashram, and after their visit to Sabarmati Ashram, they will leave for Motera Stadium. But en route, they will certainly get a spectacular glimpse of the rich cultural heritage of India.
There has been much excitement here in Ahmedabad over the last few days as the city has been spruced up to welcome their special guest. And since early morning, people have gathered to welcome President Trump at the stadium and also along the route. We're just a few moments away from getting the first glimpse of the President of the United States of America. The red carpet being laid out for him. Literally and metaphorically, because this is going to be a very special event for India and also for the President himself, and he has expressed his excitement about being in India through his various tweets.
India and America have a strong people-to-people connect as well. A significant Indian diaspora does reside in the United States. There are a lot of American companies here in India. So there has always been a special bonding between the two countries. As we now see the guests alighting from the aeroplane, Ivanka Trump, senior advisor to the Trump administration and daughter of the US President Donald Trump.
So the high-powered delegation that is accompanying the President has certain things on the agenda, which include, of course, looking out for business opportunities, maybe even cultural exchange. What do you feel, Amit?
Well, one can observe and experience the growing synergy between India and America over the decades. And there are a lot of areas of mutual interest: security, trade, healthcare, communications, digital technology, education, entrepreneurship, energy sector cooperation. India, of course, playing a leading role, forming the International Solar Alliance, as we now see the Honorable Governor and Chief Minister of Gujarat proceeding to receive the guests.
It's a perfect day to be in Ahmedabad today. The weather seems to be just right. It's not too hot and definitely not too cold, and a gentle breeze.
Well, the weather seems to be endorsing the India's tradition of Atithi Devo Bhava,
which translates to the guest is deified in our country, and we always look as the guest, as our honor to have the guest over.
Chief Minister Gujarat, Shri Vijay Rupani, Honorable Governor Gujarat, Shri Acharya Devrat, other dignitaries.
And in the foreground you can see all the artists who will perform traditional dances from Gujarat and indeed from across the country. the Shanknath, the Manjira dance, the Hodu, and other performances. This is our way of saying, howdy Trump, namaste Trump, welcome to India.
Well, it's enshrined in the Constitution of India as well. Part 4A, Article 51A talks about fundamental duties, which talks about 11 fundamental duties for every citizen. And one of them is to value and preserve the rich heritage of our composite culture. And in moments from now, President Trump and all of us will witness some mesmerizing music, folk dances. It would absolutely be a sight to behold. The colorful costumes.
And they're holding conches in their hands, so these are the artists who will perform the Shanknath, which is like a clarion call to invoke the gods and to thank the guest for arriving here on our land.
And the umbrellas that you see, that dance group will form part of a popular folk dance of Gujarat called Hudo. There'll be the Mishra Ras, Mewasi dance, another tribal dance form of Gujarat.
And all eyes are at the moment on top of the staircase of the aircraft to see the moment when President Trump arrives here in India. This is indeed one momentous occasion when two dynamic personalities meet.
Shank is the conch shell and Vandana means prayer. To welcome the American President Donald Trump, Shank Vandana will be done. The Shank is praised in Hindu scriptures as a giver of fame, longevity and prosperity. The season of spring certainly adding a dash of color.
And this is the beast, the presidential limousine. It is a very heavily armored car with its own GPS system. And it is, of course, so well guarded that nobody can attack it. In fact, the windows of this Cadillac never open. The driver's window opens only up to 3 inches to ensure the safety and security of the president.
The culture of Gujarat itself is wonderful, whether we talk about the Garba dance, the 9-day dance festival during Navratris, the culinary cuisines, and the son of the soil, Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi, arriving now to welcome the Honorable President of the United States of America, Donald Trump, and other distinguished guests. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has given a clarion call of Ek Bharat, Shreshth Bharat. At the Howdy Modi event in September 2019, Prime Minister Modi had expressed, unity in diversity is our heritage. It's our speciality. And we can see it being showcased. It is the proof of our vibrant democracies. This is our power, our inspiration. Wherever we go, we take the principles of diversity and democracy along with us. And the Prime Minister, in his Man Ki Baat address on All India Radio yesterday, said, from Kutch to Kohima, from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, the vastness and diversity of our country fills every Indian with pride. We can experience it right now. It is always a moment of overwhelming joy. And more you discover it, Jasleen, the more remains to be discovered.
That's absolutely right. And when you talk about this pride in our country, in our traditions, in our culture, it goes along with us wherever in the world we go. So for the Indian diaspora, that umbilical cord with India always remains. There are a lot of Gujaratis in America, and this will be moments that they are watching and cherishing for themselves. That is why you say you can take an Indian out of India, but you can never take India out of an Indian.
Absolutely. Finally, that moment is going to arrive now, which people across the globe are anticipating to see. The personal chemistry between the two leaders is very good. Aspiring dreams, inspiring futures. Great countries, greater friendship. Two strong nations, one great friendship. Welcome to the World Heritage City of India. In fact, Ahmedabad is the first World Heritage City of India. Jaipur has also got added to that list. Stronger friendship, brighter future.
These are all slogans that we see on hoardings all around Ahmedabad to welcome President Trump.
Wow, what a colorful spectacle to behold in eyes. The beautiful, colorful umbrellas that shall form part of the Hudo folk dance of Gujarat. This is where dancers will be also clapping their hands in a rhythmic fashion. It's a shepherd folk dance performed by the Bharwad community. Viewers of Doordarshan cannot afford to miss that.
You were talking about Ahmedabad being a World Heritage City. It was founded in the 15th century and has emerged as an important economic and industrial hub in India. It is the second largest producer of cotton in the country, and its stock exchange is the country's second oldest. The city is divided into two, the old city and the new city, and it offers different moods, right from the hustle and bustle of New Ahmedabad to the quiet retreat of the Sabarmati Ashram. Ahmedabad enjoys a thriving cultural tradition, being the center of Gujarati cultural activities and diverse traditions of different ethnic and religious communities. And we are going to see a showcase of that in just a moment from now.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the artists, India awaits the arrival of the American President Donald Trump. Well, the foundation of any relationship is the confluence of interest, and there are many reasons for both India and America to be natural allies. Prime Minister Modi had highlighted in his speech at Howdy Modi event in September 2019 that be it 9/11 in America or 26/11 in India, time has come for a decisive battle against terrorism. So security, trade is also another important issue. America has emerged as India's largest trading partner. Healthcare, wellness, be it yoga, and for a healthy future, this time the idea is also to focus on promoting generic medicines. Other issues of mutual interest could be 5G. Prime Minister Modi talks about Digital India, how we can bridge the digital divide, strengthen communications. Ivanka Trump when she had met the Prime Minister in 2017 November in Hyderabad. She came to attend the Global Entrepreneurship Summit. So entrepreneurship, education could well be another area. That's the US Ambassador to India. The aim, of course, is to deepen the friendship between the world's oldest democracy and its largest. Welcome to India. Welcome, Mr. and Mrs. Trump.
The moment that we've all been waiting for with a lot of excitement and anticipation, the arrival of President Trump and the First Lady Melania Trump to India, and the warm welcome, the handshake, the hearty hug, which has now become a symbol of their friendship. Greetings all around.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi introducing the American President Donald Trump to the Chief Minister of Gujarat and other dignitaries present. This is the first visit to India by President Donald Trump.
That was a quick greeting with Ivanka Trump and Jared Trump, the daughter and son-in-law of President Trump. A tri-services guard. Honoring the arrival of the President and the First Lady. And the traditional welcome of Gujarat, the folk dances that are so colorful, so warm and so welcoming.
The blowing of the conch shells is considered auspicious, pious, and the sound there positively energizes the environment through the vibrations.
There is such a festive air here. It is as if all of India has come alive to welcome her guests. And this sort of a greeting, this sort of a reception can only be given in India.
And after being greeted here at the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel International Airport, the American President, the First Lady, will now proceed towards Sabarmati Ashram. But what will await them on the route, Jasleen, is also going to be fantastic. The cultural extravaganza, music, dance, arts, crafts await the arrival of the dignitaries on the route as the culture of 28 states of the country will be showcased.
So on this short route, President Trump and the First Lady will experience the sights, the sounds, the colors, the culture of all of India on this short journey. The utter joy of the dancers is infectious as they perform the umbrella dance, and the presidential beast, the armored vehicle, will move away from the airport in just a few moments from now.
The tribal dance of Gujarat is a special attraction. Conservation and preservation of the rich culture is so very necessary. The sheer diversity is spectacular. In the background, what you also saw was a glimpse of Goff dance, which is known as ribbon dance, where the dancers will hold on to a cord and they will make an intricate braid at the end of first set of movements where it all gets mixed up, but then in the next set of movements, when the dancers move, the braid gets unrevealed and all the cords are loose and single once again. Completely majestic.
We see the presidential cavalcade moving out of the airport, as also the cavalcade of the Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi. This is indeed a riot of color, as artists of all ages, young and old, men and women, dance in gay abandon. And these are 7 or 9 pots that they balance on their heads, which is quite a feat.
These are age-old traditions, offering a story to be told, a narrative that will help us chronicle the history better for a greater future. This is the soft power of India that holds the costumes, the colors, the rhythm, the claps, the dandiya, the garba, the ribbon dance in the background.
In India, we have a dance for every occasion, and ours is a country of festivals. So there is a festival every few days in India to celebrate the seasons, to celebrate the change of seasons, to celebrate the advent of the new season. Because they are all connected with nature, and as nature changes slowly through the year, so do our folk dances, and we celebrate nature in all its glory. The President's limousine, the Beast, now slowly moving out of the airport.
That's the golf dance, also known as ribbon dance. Very pleasant weather welcomes the guest.
President Trump has come to India on a whirlwind tour of 36 hours, and India has decided to make every moment count because there are different kinds of activities that have been planned out for him. After Ahmedabad, he will be visiting Agra, where he and his wife will see the Taj, the symbol of love, at sunset. And of course, tomorrow there will be a formal reception at Rashtrapati Bhavan.
Intricate dance movements and then simplifying it. Joy in the air.
This visit of the American president to India will go a long way in strengthening our geostrategic ties. There will be many things which will be discussed on various subjects of mutual interest. And ours are complementary economies. So the road for the future will definitely be laid during this visit. With bells. Bells are sacred in India. And of course, waves and cheers.
So the entire cavalcade now moves out of the airport towards the city.
After receiving the grand welcome at the Ahmedabad International Airport, US President Donald Trump, First Lady Melania Trump, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and other dignitaries are now participating in a roadshow. Well, this has been the most awaited and much discussed event of this visit when the President of world's most powerful democracy and Prime Minister of world's largest democracy shares the bond of friendship. This is approximately a 22-kilometer long roadshow and perhaps the longest roadshow ever held in the city for visiting dignitary. Well, the first stop of the roadshow is Sabarmati Ashram, and then it will move towards the world's biggest cricket stadium, Motera. The roadshow has just left from the airport and now is reaching at the airport circle, and then it will move towards Sabarmati Ashram. The roadshow is now moving from the heart of the city, touching some of the important destinations. This is the airport circle now, where the cavalcade is moving towards Sabarmati Ashram. This roadshow is a perfect example of Ek Bharat, Shresth Bharat. It talks about India is a unique nation whose fabric has been woven by diverse linguistic, cultural and religious threads held together into a composite national identity by a rich history of cultural evolution coupled with a rousing freedom struggle that was built around the tenets of non-violence and justice. And as you can see, peoples have actually gathered on both the sides of the road and greeted the leaders, the two leaders. And as you can see on your screens here, in this roadshow, more than 28 stages have been set up at various locations. And the artist dressed in traditional attire, as you can see, presenting folk dances, music and yoga poses. Whether it is east or west, north or south, and from many states of India, the talented artists have come here to showcase their talent and make the world aware of their arts. And this is a perfect platform when all the eyes are set on them. This is the soft power of India. The cavalcade has now reached to the cantonment area. You can see people try to capture the movement in their mobile phones. Here we can see the history unfolds. Different states from the country are presenting the traditional dance forms en route the roadshow. The distance between the airport and the Sabarmati ashram is about approximately 7 kilometers. And as you can see, the cavalcade is now moving towards Sabarmati ashram, have already crossed the cantonment area. It is now reaching at Hanuman Camp Road. So as we're talking about the cultural performance, you can see the artists performing on the stage here. For example, Gujarat, the state in India, is presenting the Garba. Garba is a form of dance which originated in the state of Gujarat, and many traditional Garbas are performed around a centrally lit lamp or picture or statue of goddess Shakti. Traditionally, it is performed during the 9-day Navratri festival. The city of Ahmedabad wore a festive look today. And indeed, people looks quite happy. This is a golden Qatar gate where the cavalcade is reaching now. There are approximately 28 states who will be performing and presenting the different style of art, the dance. These artists have been performing and practicing since many years. And as we say earlier, this is a perfect platform to showcase their talent, as all the eyes are set on them. And here the different states are performing, the artists are performing the local folk dance. The idea of sustained and structured connect between denizens of different regions was mooted by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Prime Minister propounded that cultural diversity is a joy that ought to be celebrated through the mutual interaction and reciprocity between people of different states and union territories, so that a common spirit of understanding resonates throughout the country. And now the cavalcade is reaching at the Sabarmati riverfront road. And from here, it's just 3 to 4 kilometers. The cavalcade will reach to its first destination, that is Gandhi Ashram. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has personally and quite warmly hosted world leaders in Ahmedabad, and especially at the Sabarmati riverfront where this cavalcade is now turning. At the Sabarmati riverfront also we can see the artists are performing on the banks of the river of Sabarmati. So I was telling, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has personally quite warmly hosted world leaders in Ahmedabad, including Chinese President Xi Jinping, Japan's Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, and Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The roadshow has reached to the Sabarmati Riverfront Road. And as you can see, people are lined up here on both the sides of the road. You can see the flags of the United States of America and India. Well, this friendship is not just between the two leaders. Here we can see a friendship between two countries. This is the Sabarmati Riverfront. This is a dream project of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The project was long pending, but when Prime Minister Narendra Modi became Chief Minister of Gujarat, he took the project on a mission mode. And this long pending project was completed in just few years. This project has become a successful affair, as now many states developing the riverfront in their cities like this. Prominent leaders like Japan and Israel, Prime Ministers also visited the riverfront and got surprised to see it. Under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the visit of foreign dignitaries was not just confined to national capital Delhi, but was taken to other states of India. So therefore, we saw Portugal President visiting Mumbai for Indian-Portugal Business Forum, China's President Xi Jinping visiting Mahabalipuram, Tamil Nadu, French President Emmanuel Macron and Japan's Prime Minister Shinzo Abe visiting Varanasi and Mirzapur in Uttar Pradesh, and now we can see US President visiting Ahmedabad, Agra and Delhi. The carcade is now moving on the Subhash Bridge, and from here the Gandhi Ashram is just a couple of kilometers away. On both the sides of the road we can see big hoardings and posters being displayed of both the leaders here. So as the first destination of this roadshow is Gandhi Ashram. The Gandhi Ashram is situated on the bank of Sabarmati River. The Sabarmati Ashram was home to Mahatma Gandhiji from 1917 until 1930 and served as one of the main centers of the Indian freedom struggle. As we can see, the cavalcade has reached on the Subhash Bridge. The cavalcade is now crossing Sabarmati River. The ashram, originally called Satyagraha Ashram, reflecting the movement towards passive resistance launched by Mahatma Gandhiji. the Ahmedabad city today wore a festive look here.
So the cavalcade of President Donald Trump and Prime Minister Narendra Modi has now arrived at Sabarmati Ashram, and en route we did see that the distinguished guests were greeted by tens of thousands of people and artists showcasing art from different states and union territories. The beautiful Sabarmati river, and on the banks of it, Sabarmati Ashram, and this is the place which is called Hriday Kunj, where Gandhiji lived for nearly 13 years. Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi being welcomed at Sabarmati Ashram. After working for 21 years in South Africa, Gandhiji returned to India in January 1915, and he chose to settle in Ahmedabad for a number of reasons. He could serve the country better through his mother tongue Gujarati. Ahmedabad, as an old center of hand weaving, would serve well to promote the spinning wheel or the charkha, and as a prime city of Gujarat, Ahmedabad would be a good source of financial support too.
Gandhiji never visited America, but he had a deep connect with people. Martin Luther King was inspired by Gandhiji's philosophy of truth and non-violence as powerful tools during the civil rights movement in America. He said, when I go to other countries, I go as a tourist, but when I come to India, I come as a pilgrim. And this is the entrance to the Sabarmati Ashram. It has been preserved as it was during Gandhiji's time. Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji will receive President Donald Trump and the First Lady Melania Trump. A traditional welcome with a khadi angavastra or a stole. The significance being explained here to the President and the First Lady. And this is Hriday Kunj. This is where Mahatma Gandhi stayed during his 13 odd years here at Sabarmati. His presence is still palpable here. There is a deep sense of peace that permeates the air. His words still vibrate in the stillness here. The President will experience the essence of spiritual India as he enters this hallowed space.
President Donald Trump and Prime Minister Modi garlanding the photo of Mahatma Gandhiji there, and we do see a prayer written downstairs. The prayer was written by Mahatma Gandhi in English, and it was titled Lord of Humility, where he expressed, let us be embodiments of self-sacrifice, embodiments of godliness, humility personified, that we may know the land better and love it more. This is the meeting place where Gandhiji used to meet a lot of people.
Interestingly, although Gandhiji lived here for 13 years, he didn't have a room to himself. He spent most of his time in this veranda, spinning the charkha, or the spinning wheel, as we can see in the visuals. And that little room on the left was his study, where he wrote letters every day to people all across India who were connected with the freedom movement, and people from all across the world who wrote to him. This is also where he met the leaders of the freedom movement and international guests. This is where various decisions regarding India's freedom struggle were taken.
It was while living here that Mohandas Gandhi came to be known as Mahatma Gandhi. And this is the symbol of self-reliance, the spinning wheel, charkha.
The charkha was Gandhiji's great tool for empowerment and dignity of labor. President Trump and the First Lady giving it a try. It also has great spiritual significance. Gandhiji used to say 1 hour spent in spinning would be equivalent to an hour in self-development for the spinner. It's very meditative when you spin the charkha. In the meanwhile, Motera Stadium is abuzz with excitement. Lata Ben explaining how the yarn is spun. Most people trying the charkha for the first time can be a little unnerving, but once you get used to it, you understand what Gandhiji meant when he called it the physical embodiment of his constructive program as a representation of Swadeshi, self-sufficiency, and at the same time, interdependence. Because the wheel is at the center of a network of cotton growers, carders, weavers, distributors and users. It also embodied the dignity of labor, equality, unity, as all volunteers were to spin each day, and finally independence was achieved. In fact, it has been called the livery of our freedom. That is what Khadi signifies for us. A few moments of introspection, trying to absorb the essence of Mahatma Gandhi, his teachings, and his philosophy. It's hard to imagine. This is exactly how the Mahatma would have sat here with his international visitors. He too had a great sense of humor.
Interestingly, Gandhiji could write from both his hands. And sitting here in the veranda, he would meet a lot of world leaders and other guests, as we now see the special visitor today, the American President, Donald Trump, now penning his thoughts in the visitor's book. Foremost in the movements launched by Gandhiji from this very place, the Sabarmati Ashram, was the 385-kilometer salt march from Sabarmati Ashram to Dandi on the south Gujarat coast. Interestingly, Gandhi Smarak Sangrahalaya, Sabarmati, is open on all days of the year, from 8:30 in the morning till 6:30 in the evening. Daily about 2,000 to 3,000 footfalls, and on a holiday, Sunday, weekend, that increases to about 5,000 footfalls.
Mahatma Gandhi believed in an openness. He used to say, I do not want my house to be walled on all sides and my windows to be stuffed. I want the cultures of all lands to be blown about my house as freely as possible. But I refuse to be blown off my feet by any. This perhaps is the openness that he talked about. The people of all cultures, all traditions came here. The three monkeys of Mahatma Gandhi: speak no evil, see no evil, hear no evil. These were originally given to Mahatma Gandhi by a Japanese monk, and they became an essential part of his philosophy.
And those philosophies, Jasleen, are still very relevant and encourage each one of us to ensure that we imbibe the core values of humanity, truth, non-violence, love, compassion, service, sacrifice, forbearance, and equality. The Sangrahalaya, the museum, consists of a gallery that is titled My Life is My Message, and it consists of paintings, photo enlargements of some of the vivid events of Gandhiji's life, his quotations, letters, other relics. There is a library too, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi encourages one and all, especially the youth, to understand Gandhiji, his philosophy, connect with history. There's the archives that ensures collection, preservation, and display of Gandhiji's writings, photography, voice records, films, personal belongings. As we now see President Donald Trump interacting with the members of the Gandhi Smarak Sangrahalaya, Sabarmati.
So these were few moments of reflection, of going inwards, before moving onwards towards the next leg. Mahatma Gandhi said that to find oneself, one has to lose oneself in the service of others. And this is a pilgrimage where one can find this philosophy and through it find oneself.
And now from the Sabarmati Ashram, the cavalcade will move to the new Motera Stadium. And for today, perhaps Motera is all set to transform into the loudest stadium in the world.
That is quite true. We've been hearing loud cheers emanating from the stadium. The President's daughter, Ivanka Trump. Gandhiji believed in the concept of living in a commune with just the bare necessities, because he said that nature gives you enough for your needs, though not enough for your greed. And this was the ideal living conditions that Gandhiji talked about. The residents here would work for 8 hours a day, and in the morning and evening spend time in meditation and prayer, and prayers from all faiths were recited here.
In fact, members of the ashram began their day by gathering to pray, and in the evening they returned to pray again and take stock of the day's activities. The entire environment, the trees, the calmness, the positive vibrations, the energy makes you feel very relaxed.
And also, it sends a shiver down one's spine to think that this is exactly where Mahatma Gandhi lived. To breathe the same air that he once breathed is really special for the visitor.
So whether it's the stillness one can experience at Sabarmati Ashram, or the loudest cheer that awaits at the Motera, it's an array of emotions that engulfs the life of a human being.
Come to think of it, that is the essence of India, isn't it? We are the loudest and the most joyful when we celebrate our festivals with great color and a lot of music and dancing. And yet when it comes to moments of reflection, we turn inwards. This is a part of life for most Indians. Despite the compulsions of modern day living,
the three monkeys,
embody the very essence of Gandhiji's philosophy of seeing no evil, speaking no evil, and hearing no evil. So when you look for the good in others, you only see the good in others, which gets reflected in your own being. Because Gandhiji said we really are mirrors of each other. Mahatma Gandhi also said that an eye for an eye would eventually turn the world blind. So he talked about compassion, forgiveness, friendship, and understanding with each other. To my great friend, Prime Minister Modi, thank you for this wonderful visit. It has been signed by President Donald Trump.
Also the First Lady, Melania Trump, has signed there.
Exactly. People do usually come here and pen their thoughts in the visitor's book. And this will be a wonderful visit for the President and his entourage. The Prime Minister's carcade moving down the avenues of Ahmedabad, lined with thousands of people who are here to cheer the Prime Minister and his dear friend, the President of America. The cavalcade is now moving towards the Motera Stadium, the Sardar Vallabhbhai International Cricket Stadium, which has been newly refurbished. And there are close to 1.5 lakh people who are waiting there to cheer the two great personalities who are the stars of the event. The presidential cavalcade now departing from Sabarmati Ashram. Mahatma Gandhi's philosophy is still relevant today, and this can be seen by the fact that almost 2,000 people visit here daily and more than 5,000 people come to Sabarmati Ashram on weekends, waving and cheering the President along. The people of Ahmedabad, people of Gujarat are so happy to see him.
The next destination is Motera Stadium. As we can see, the cavalcade is now moving from Sabarmati Ashram. The message of peace and harmony given by Mahatma Gandhiji is still very relevant in contemporary era. The head of states and the head of governments had visited Gujarat mainly to visit Sabarmati Ashram, Gandhi Ashram. And the name of the dignitary includes Queen Elizabeth II, King of Jordan, Nelson Mandela, and Sri Lanka's former Prime Minister, Premadasa. The world has recognized and accepted the thoughts and ideology of Mahatma Gandhi, and hence we may see that many global leaders visit Gandhi Ashram to understand that. Originally, the Gandhi Ashram called the Satyagraha Ashram, reflecting the movement towards passive resistance launched by Mahatma Gandhiji. The ashram became home to ideology that set India free. And as you can see, the cavalcade is now moving towards the Motera Stadium. The cavalcade has crossed the Subhash Bridge. The ashram, as we're talking about, became the home to ideology that set India free. The Sabarmati Ashram, named for the river on which it sits, and was created with a dual mission: to serve as an institution that world carry on a search for truth, and a platform to bring together a group of workers committed to non-violence who would help secure freedom for India. And that's the reason even nowadays we can see the global leaders want to visit Gandhi Ashram. As you can see, the people have lined up here on the streets. The cavalcade is now moving towards Motera Stadium. It's a Subhash Bridge. We can see from where the cavalcade is moving. And as we told, the next destination is Motera Stadium, where the President and the Prime Minister will participate in Namaste Trump event, which is quite similar to the landmark Howdy Modi event hosted by the Indian American community in honor of Prime Minister Narendra Modi during his visit to Houston in September 2019. The cavalcade is just crossing Sabarmati Riverfront Road, will go towards the airport square, and from there on will go to the Motera Stadium. The distance is about 17 kilometers from the Gandhi Ashram. And en route we can see some of the classical dance performance, the folk dance performance by the Indian artist